Fun.
Boom, and we are live. Let me just make sure that it's true, it's working because I can see the screen is live and yeah, there's a notification from Facebook, notification from YouTube. So I just want to see that. Wow. So we are Melody. It's
Okay.
very, very glad that I can see you. And you're glittering today. You're looking so awesome because you're an independent woman or what?
I am an independent woman, always have been. And yeah, loving it.
It's lovely. It's awesome to be independent woman as well. So let me try to if I can share this. I don't know if I can. Yes, I can. Um, Before anything else, it's better to share its melody. And those viewers who are entering melody, I can see them, but you can. Just want to remind them to share this with their colleagues, those who can also benefit from this. Because this is going to be a great conversation for all men and women. It's not just about the women, but it's something that everybody wants to listen to understand because, you know, the world is growing into independency where everybody wants to be depending on themselves. So we just want to go deep into understanding what exactly is the meaning of independent woman and what are the advantages and disadvantages and how good are women taking advantage of this. And again, how bad are women overstepping on this word independent woman? So before we go ahead, Melody, let me take this opportunity to give you a chance to introduce yourself well, because I can't do that as well as you can. So let us know who's Melody Chadamoyo.
Hi, everyone. My name is Melody Chadamoyo, a resident love coach. And I'm, I guess, what am I? Relationship coach, love coach, whatever you want to call me. I'm passionate about helping men and women create partnerships that are happy, that are functioning, that are joyful, that are, long lasting. Because if we don't do that, our lives get really complicated, and then we give up. We have children that are also having issues, and that's one thing I really try to avoid. And I am an author, I'm a speaker, I am a performer, I perform on stage as well. I recently I wrote a poem and it was said to be good. I don't know how good it is, believe me. But I wrote a book that I'm really proud of. And so yes, that's me. I do a lot of things because I love doing a lot of things. And I'm an independent professional woman. I'm a librarian. Yes. So there.
Wow. So Melody is one of those independent women that we are talking about here. And well, this is something that has been covered both positive and negative sides across the world. And as you all know that we are in a generation where women are fighting to be in a position. And I don't know how to define the position itself, but the truth is women are now fighting to be heard, kind of, or to be in a position where they can be felt. You know, during those past generations, women were set aside. And somebody reminded me that look even at the Bible when the population or a number was being given when a crowd was present somewhere, they were only counting men. They were not counting women. But we've come to a place where now we understand that a population is made up of a man and a woman. So the term independence, before I bring my rough talk, because I'm not going to talk lightly on this, because I know Melody is going to talk light on this, but I'm going to tackle it and, you know, hit it on the head. Can you just bring us closer to understanding what independent woman is all about, Melody?
Independent woman, in my definition, and I haven't looked it up, is a person who is able to provide the basics for themselves. That is food, shelter, water. And yeah, so those are the basics, right? And clothes. So you are able to provide those four things for yourself without needing assistance from anybody. That's an independent woman, as far as I'm concerned. And that's like a basic definition.
Wow. A basic short definition, but so clear that, and I love how you put it, because I've asked a lot of people about this definition of an independent woman, and especially the people of my generation. Let me just say my age, because if I talk of my generation, I'll be kind of generalizing everything, because you guys are also included in my generation. So what I'm trying to bring is that when I ask people about independent women, and more so, you ask the ladies side, and ladies will be like, independent woman is, you have your job, you can buy your own food, you can do this, you don't give. There's something that they are always calling, you don't give a damn, right? And but in your definition, you're bringing it out that the most important thing for you to be understood as an independent woman is you can buy the basic things for yourself. You can shelter yourself, you can clothe yourself, you can food yourself. You're independent. So
Yeah.
independency is about provision of the basic needs. Is that what you're
Mhm.
talking about, Melody? Yes.
Yes,
So let's bring you. Mhm.
yes,
Go ahead.
because and I'm going to talk about my experience. Okay. Hi, Nauta. Hi, Jenny. And they're commenting in the chat, so I just thought I should greet them and everyone else who's joining us. We love your comments. We love your questions. We love your presence. So please enjoy. And if you are leaving out something, ask us so we can tackle it in this short space of time that we have. In my opinion, I used to think that to be independent, to be an independent woman meant I should be able to do everything for myself. That I shouldn't need a man at all, like to do anything for me. And it went on for a while. When I did my A levels, I went to college, I got my diploma and all that, and I still felt I got married, and I still felt that I needed to do everything myself. And I did everything myself. I'm one of those women that I was lucky. My mom trained me to do all the kitchen stuff, the cooking, the cleaning, the sewing, the whatever, the knitting. I can do all that. And my dad trained me how to fix cars and do the hard manual masculine stuff as well. And I could do that. I could kill a goat and skin it, actually, when I was a teenager, right? And all those things, like my dad even said to me, I am teaching you these things so that you are not going to need a man. And I was like, yes, I don't need a man in my life. I'm independent. And I got married to a wonderful man who, lucky for me, would clean, wash, cook, do all those other things as well because his mom had trained him, right? And one day, and I will never forget this. One day, our light bulb, those were the days when the light bulb just used to go off. Our light bulb went off and the room was dark. And I thought, oh, the light bulb went off. I went in, we always used to keep spares. I went into the drawer, I took the new bulb. I got the chair, I climbed on top of the chair, but I'm a little bit hesitant about heights. So when I was up there, I thought, I could fall. So I said, can you come and help me? So he came and he held my legs so I don't fall off the chair. And I changed the bulb. But when I removed the old bulb and I passed it on to him, I had to look into his eyes. And I saw how sad he looked. And I was like, I don't know what's wrong with this guy. Why isn't he happy I can do all this for myself, right? So I changed the bulb and I gave him the old one and everything was fine. We did not discuss it. In my head, I thought, he is so stupid. Why isn't he happy that I can do this for myself? And it took me, I think, from that time, another maybe 3-4 years before it dawned on me that I had messed up. And from that moment, things started to unravel between the two of us until they got so bad. I wanted out, and I'm sure he wanted out too. And yeah, and so that's the independent woman education that I got. So in most
Wow.
cases, society has been teaching us women to be as masculine as possible. And that's been taught in schools, in active, because every time women are spoken about in the newspapers, in the media in general, our skills are looked down upon. Being feminine is considered weaker, bad, stupid, frazzled, uncool, whatever. And so we have all aimed to be as masculine as we can be. So if you take one masculine woman and one masculine man and put them together in a relationship, it doesn't work very well.
Wow. That sounds an alarm outside there. I hope somebody's listening, Melody. And I want to go back to what you have just said. That at first you thought that being independent is not needing a man in your life, realizing or thinking that okay, I can do it even without him. I can do it alone without a man. But is it really true that being independent means that a woman can? Because this is where we are misunderstanding independent woman, and that is where most of the young generation, my age and low, are messing up, especially when a woman gets a job and she can earn. And now they term the independency as I don't need a man in my life because I can buy anything that I want. I can do anything that I want. But is it really true, Melody? Because see, I want to give a very rough example, and women who are on board, please forgive me for this. But look, I'm giving this example. It's not a real life situation, but I'm giving it as an example. I meet a woman. I start dating this woman, and I meet her at a lower class. Let me talk about that. My class is a little bit higher than hers. I'm staying somewhere. I've got my house, my apartment somewhere. I've got my cars, not just one. I've got my range of cars, and I've got my money, and I get her somewhere, maybe in a small room somewhere, and she's not still working. She can't buy some stuff, and then I start to raise her to those heights. I tell her that what, this car is gonna be yours. So if you know how to drive, I'll give you one of the cars. You can be driving it around. You can be driving yourself. If you don't know how to drive, I have a driver who can be picking you, or I have a Uber you can be picking up and come to my place. Then I go ahead and start clapping this lady on branded clothes. You getting that? So when the flow of money starts to enter into the pocket of such a woman, and she can drive around, she can live in a house where you just call everything and everything. You don't cook. And she can buy whatever she wants, even if it's a Gucci, it's a Louis Vuitton, she can do it. She goes back to her friends and she starts talking of independency. I'm an independent woman. Now I can rent my house alone. I can go and do whatever I want. Do you think this is going overboard? Because let's say, for example, if today I stop, our relationship dies. Where does she go? In fact, I want to ask you, there was, I don't know whether it's true or it was just a social media viral videos. There was a lady who was, did another video on social media and saying that she wants to sue her boyfriend because of elevating her to a certain level, a branded level, a class that she was not, and then this guy kicked her out of his house. So it's like this guy dropped her again down to the level where she was before. So she wanted to sue the guy for taking her that high, and now. So what are you going to talk about or say about this, Melody, in terms of independency of a woman and how she can acquire whatever she needs in her life?
Okay, that's not a definition of an independent woman. If your survival, I'll say survival, which means your ability to eat, your ability to get dressed, your ability to sleep in a house depends on another human being. Whether they are your husband or not, you are not an independent woman. I'm sorry, those are just the facts. And then I want to turn your thing to flip it off a little bit, because I'm actually really tired of men who complain that I got a girl and she didn't have anything, and I raised her and I gave her everything, and you didn't do it from the goodness of your heart, right? You were doing it because we're getting something. Maybe that's something
Yep.
you don't want it anymore. You don't gel anymore. There's no need for you to be rude or whatever and hard on this woman, because now she's not the person you want anymore, right? It's not working, you move on. If you wanted to be with a person of equal proficiency, let's say, equal proficiency, she earns her own money, of which I have people of my generation, women of my generation in from Zimbabwe would be the first women to get out of university or college or whatever, to be offered really big jobs with really huge sums of money. And men were afraid to ask those girls out, because there is a point in our lives where we have thought and we've decided money is more important than a human being. And you will hear me talk about this all the time, because it's like we decided this piece of paper that looks like this is a tool we are going to use to represent wealth. And then we thought, oh, this tool we chose as human beings, that is a tool we use to represent wealth, is now more important than us, the human beings. So when a woman earns more money, it means I am lesser, because I am lesser than the money she earns. It's money. Money is really a thing we use to buy stuff or to put value on things. It will never be as valuable as a human being. Even for those that pay lobola, like we call it in Aurora in Zimbabwe, lobola in South Africa and stuff, and develop people, or dowry in English, whatever. It doesn't mean the money you are bringing or giving will ever equate to the value of the person that you are with. So when we are talking about independence, my grandmother died at 106. She was an independent woman. She never had a job in her life, but she made sure she always had money in her pocket. And sometimes her money was not tangible. It wasn't liquid. But she always had chickens to sell, goats to sell, cows to sell, groundnuts to sell whenever she needed money. And she would change it. It was hers. It did not belong to her husband. It was hers. She had a bank account in her own name. It was hers. Did not belong to the husband. They had things together with the husband, but she had her own things. So I grew up in a lineage of women. Both my grandmothers from either side of my parents were women who owned their own things. They did not depend to be provided for by men. They still lived with men. They had relationships with men. My maternal grandmother had a very successful relationship with men. Most of the things I learned about relationships and marriage, I learned from my grandmother. But she also truly believed a woman needs to work with your own hands. She used to say, God gave us these hands to use them to look after ourselves. If you meet a husband or a man who's not able to do things for himself or be as productive as you shouldn't live in poverty because of that. You've got your own ones. Work. So I have never at any point looked at my husband and said, we don't have enough money, you go earn it. I would say, how can I make enough money so we can live the lifestyle I want? I have to pull up my socks and do it. That's my definition of independent woman.
Wow. Melody, previously, let me take you back to when I was in high school. There's I can't remember it so well, but there's a time that there was this phrase. There's one guy who was watching. I hope he's still there. Olaka, the guy from Kobiero Farm. We were together in the same school, and that time I guess he was still with me in school because he was 1 year ahead of me. And there was this term that came up because I studied in high school, a mixed school. So one teacher one day said that some girls are so lazy that they always say that so and so is reading for me. You know what that means? That there's a
No.
man somewhere studying so hard for them, because after all, women will just get married and then stay home and have things done for us. So we are not going to work so hard. Somebody is already working hard for us. So, but the more we are getting into this 20th and 21st century, the more this thing is coming down, because previously what used to happen was that our dads, our parents, and our grandparents used to do what that statement would have said, but people never looked at it deeply. That these women, the women who used to stay home, did not just stay home. They used to do something. They used to head what for us in my language is called agulu. Agulu is somewhere where women can keep whatever they have, the coins. They could keep some ornaments like diamonds, like gold, and nobody knew. They only knew this themselves, and they kept it away from any other person. And today we are in a generation where you find I'm going to church with my wife or my girlfriend or my fiance, and let's talk about giving tithe. You find that I am giving tithe for myself, and again giving my wife money to pay tithe. Are you getting it? People don't look at this as something that, and especially I want to talk to women and tell them this. When you are dating someone or you are married to a man and you guys are going to pay tithe, it looks awkward. This is where now independency should come in. For you to show that you are independent, paying a tithe, for example, is a thing of your pocket, is a thing of your sweat, not a sweat from another person, not your husband's sweat, not your mother's sweat. When you want to pay a tithe, and in fact, sometimes I kind of blame my mom for doing that because he used to give us money. You guys go and pay tithe, go and give sadaka, we call it like that in my country. But there is that sense of independence that you need to, however little you have, you should not always get kind of worried or shame of what you can give. Sometimes your husband looks much more wealthier than you. What are you doing as a woman? Even just a woman who's staying home. I'm not talking about a working woman, because women, most of my generation and my age, women think that for you to be independent, you must have a job. But it's not a job. It's about how can you get some resources to settle out the basic requirements or responsibilities that you can do as a woman. You are home. You can knit. You can do art and crafts. You can go to the farm. You can just start a table banking. Sometimes, you're given $100 or $200 to go buy salt. You buy and you have some $50 or $10 as a balance. You use it as a table banking, and you start getting some money to get independent. It's not about a job. And this is what I want you, Melody, to explain to us so well, and rub away the job part of it and independence of a woman, because a jobless woman will never talk about independence. But
yeah, so that's the reason.
Here.
That's the reason why I mentioned my grandmother, because I know a lot of people would say, "Oh, it's about the job." It's not. And Nelta just posted that the best example of an independent woman is Oprah Winfrey, and men can learn a lot from Stedman on how amazing it is to live as an independent man in a relationship with an independent woman, because she's not looking for you to be the provider. And and I just also want to say that this whole being looked after woman idea is not originally from Africa. It came with colonization, because in Europe, men decided that their women would, I don't know, emasculate them, would take over, would whatever. So they came up with a law whereby women were less valuable than horses. And they needed to keep them at home doing nothing with a lot of servants. But you know what happens when you don't use a brain or a muscle? It deteriorates and it dies. So those women would be bored out of their heads because they had nothing to do. Their brains were not growing because they didn't have to create anything, right? And if you look even to the point where they were coming to Africa, most of those women were drinking a lot, too much. There was not, if you go to the village in Africa right now, you will not find a woman who spends, unless she's sick and very, very sick, like dying sick, she's out there in the garden, in the farm, in the whatever. She's not waiting for someone to come do anything for her. That's the way we are as human beings. We work. Then this Western culture came and they told us, oh no, you need to sit and somebody has to wait on you and somebody needs to do everything for you to feel important. And it took away our sense of self and our sense of being. And we copy it without knowing, without understanding where some of these things are coming from. I love learning the why of everything. If we call this laptop, I'm one of those people who would love to go and say, where did the name come from? How do they end up calling it a laptop anyway? That's the type of person I am. And I do that a lot with relationships with human beings, because it's very important to know the story behind how we are doing things now. So you can then choose whether this is good for you or not good for you. When we go back to independent women, like I said, my grandmother never had a job. She didn't even, I don't think she went to school. Maybe she did, but she used to say, I never went to school. Didn't stop her from creating her own wealth at all. If you just choose, if you don't have anyone to help you, to give you ideas, there are so many organizations that are helping women come up with ideas to make money now. So many of them. Some of them will even pay you to help you make your own money, right? It's not glamorous. There's nothing beautiful or nothing admirable about spending your days, wasting your life, because that's what it is. You're wasting your life. This opportunity we have right here that we were given once in a lifetime, we didn't come here to play. We came here for a purpose. Find what your purpose is. Live that purpose. Because when you are living your purpose, you will find you don't spend a lot of time on social media looking at who's doing what and who's saying what, because you are living your purpose. And when you are living your purpose, you start to see your life growing exponentially. You do so many things with your time, because time is the one resource we don't have a lot of. It runs out. This minute, this half hour, this 3/4 hour, this second, once it's gone, it's gone. You never get it back again.
It has never had a reverse gear.
Yeah. Yeah. 2020, everybody said, let's cancel 2020. We are still in 2021. Right? We're all a year older, even though we canceled 2020. Yeah.
That's
Time
it.
is moving.
It's moving, Melody. And you talked about your grandmom, and I'm thinking about my mom that I always call my grandmom. I lost my mom when I was still a teenager, so my grandmom took over as my mother, and she's been so great. And when you're talking about independent woman and talking about how a woman can make it out of not going to school, not having a job, my grandmom is one of them. And recently, we decided, myself and my sister, we decided not to be giving my grandmom money that we always give to her, because this is a woman whom you will go visit her, and she will tell you, my grandson, I have nothing. I totally have no money in my pocket. And then you'll be like, Mama, because she's now like our mom. We don't call her grandma, we call her Mama.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I've got some 2,000 Kenya shillings, which is around, I guess, $200. So you'll be like, okay, mama, take this because I don't have some cash with me. Just have this for yourself. I'll see what I can do when I reach home or whatever. I'll send you money. And then just minutes even before you leave, a visitor will come in, and the same amount of money you gave to her, she will give it to the visitor who just came, and she will be like, "Oh my God, you walked to my place, yes. Do you guys have food? Blah blah." So they will be like, "No, I have this problem, and we had that and that." And my grandma will open her cloth because she'll take the money and tie it with the cloth. Right? You understand? She'll
I
take
know.
the whole money in front of your eyes and give it out. I'm
Yeah.
like, but she said she has nothing. How? Why did she give out the money? So you'll be like, Granny, but what happened? You gave just the little that I have. And then she will be like, my grandson, sometimes what you see as your problem is smaller than the other people's problem. So if you can sort other problems, sort it out. You, God will sort out. You are going back home and you told me you'll send me some money, right? So when you get home, the first thing you do, send me the amount of money.
Yeah, because she's
So,
generous of heart, right? She
yeah,
gives as much as she wants to give. And Nota says
yeah,
almost all women are working women. It's not easy staying home, keeping a home, and minding people, and that's also true.
yeah.
In
Mm-hmm,
terms of most people tend to dismiss the amount of work it takes to feed, clothe, wash, clean the house daily. People tend to think it
mm-hmm,
takes seconds. It doesn't. It looks easy unless you are doing it yourself or you've done it. Then you realize actually it's very, very difficult. Toilets need to be cleaned every day. Bathrooms need to be cleaned every day. Kitchens need to be cleaned. Dishes. If you spend the whole day at home, you are cleaning
mm-hmm,
dishes at least 3-4 times a day, right? So all that time is spent by some women doing all that work. Men who have women who do that for them need to appreciate that. They need to appreciate the fact that this person is dedicating their life to take care of them. If that's the conversation you've had and that's the conversation you've agreed to, because some people love doing that, it's okay. I don't
mm-hmm,
diss it. I don't.
mm-hmm.
But I find it very heartbreaking that a lot of men marry women that they know that all they want to do is look after them and the children. And then after a while, when she can't even go and marry someone else, maybe she has 3 kids or 4 kids, and she is financially, not independent, as we say. And then he says, "Oh, she's not independent enough. She's not outgoing. She's not like this. Like he didn't know this when he was, getting with her. Now he says, I wish she had been somebody different." That is so, so unfair. It
Mm-hmm.
is unfair.
Exactly.
It is also the
But
reason
now,
why I feel that as a
mm-hmm,
woman, you need to, even if you're doing all that, you need to find a way to have your own bank account or to have your own money. Because like me, I had an amazing husband who was willing to dedicate to provide for me. And then he died. He died really young before he reached his peak. And I was left with
mm-hmm,
a child and a house
mm-hmm,
and a mortgage and a lot of bills to pay, right? If I had been sitting, hoping and waiting for him to finish his PhD and start earning the hundreds of thousands that I expected, my life would be so different now, way worse than it is right now. So for me, it's
one day
not
I
a,
asked somebody,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, one day I was asking somebody that, okay, so this is what you have decided, but what about if the person you are depending on, becomes no more? How are you gonna deal with your situation? Because yes, it's good that we can always depend on some other people, especially and this. I'm not talking about a woman or a man. You can depend on any side. Sometimes a man gets a woman who's working and he's not working, or a woman gets a man who's working and she's not working. But the most important thing to get or to do in this situation where you meet each other and one is not working is to try to uplift the other melody, which is the most important thing. For example, somebody can say that this is what I can do. I can do a business. I can start up maybe a certain thing I can be doing to get some money, some income, little income to push me up. But my question to you, Melody, as a man or a woman, I'm not generalizing that independence is just for the women. Men too need to be independent. And it is great when you marry each other when all of you are independent. My question is, I am a man or I am a woman and I get someone who is not independent and I sit down with them and I ask them, how can I help you to get independent? And they give me a direction. They tell me that if you do this to me, this is how I'm going to help myself get independent. And you do that and they fail you. What are you supposed to do, Melody? As a woman, you do that. You invest all your energy, or you invest financially, or you invest mentally, or even socially, and then they fail you. And they don't recognize or realize that they failed you. What do you do as a man or a woman?
Okay. Here's the thing. I'm a relationship coach, so I will reply to this as both a woman and a relationship coach. When my father used to say that if you need to understand the person with you are with, what drives them, what excites them, what gets them to be passionate and driven about something. If you meet a person and you say, and this is what my dad said, not my words, his words. So you meet a woman, she's beautiful, she's lovely, but she's in a bar, she's a prostitute. Her job is to sell her body, right? That's what she does. And you think, oh my God, I love her. She's amazing. She's beautiful. I'm going to take her home. And then I'm going to give her the best of everything. Then she will stop the need to prostitute herself, right? And you take her home. And then after about a week, you find her with another man. And you get upset and say, you failed me. She didn't fail you. She's living her destiny. The one question you should have asked is, and this is where the crunch is, why are you a prostitute? Is it because you love a variety of men in your life? Or because you are trying to earn a living? Because if she's trying to earn a living, if she finds another way to earn a living, she will stop the prostituting. Yeah. But if her need is to get as many men around her as she can, then nothing is going to stop her from doing that. Nothing. So if you get a person that you think, oh, this person has good potential, we have that word in our words in our heads, I will advance her to fit my needs, to get her to the level where I can agree that she's now suitable to be in my life. That's a mistake, my dear brother. The person who should be needing that, who should be driving that, is that person. They will come to you and they say, John, I really, really want to do this. Will you support me? And John, you say, yes, I will support you. You never go to a person and say, and this, you are in the diaspora, I am in the diaspora. People in the diaspora have got a disease. It's called the Messiah mentality or complex. Messiah complex. We want to save people a lot. You see people in wherever, Kenya, Zimbabwe, wherever, and we say, you are not having the life you should be living. Let me give you money to start a business. You give them money to start a business, which is your idea. You start a business of chickens. The business doesn't happen. The money is gone. You say, okay, you failed that. I'll give you another idea. Maybe you should try this. They don't do that either. Because there's one thing you forgot. This person needs to be invested in the idea to be able to wake up every day and pull up your socks. If you read any entrepreneurship book, it tells you, if you don't love it, don't do it. because it's damn
Don't do
hard to be a business person. Yes, get a job. And even then, I would say, if you don't love the job, don't do it. Don't become a nurse, a doctor, even a
Don't do it.
policeman. If you don't love it, don't do it, because you are going to be a pain to everybody that you're going to come across.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So you cannot say to a person, I notice you need to be upgraded, so I'm going to upgrade you. My goodness, your heart is going to be so broken, because people are people.
Answer. That is exactly the kind of answer that I wanted, Melody, because, and you have touched on the savior thing and the diaspora. Because, Melody, what's happening is like once you travel abroad, the people who are back at home, leave alone even the spouses or the fiancés or wives or husbands, even the family and friends, people see you to have risen to a certain level, and therefore, just because you are more like, with $1,000, or maybe you don't talk about $1,000, that's too much. You are higher than them with $10, so you can become the savior. Exact words that you have just used right now, don't be a savior, is what a friend of mine in Norway, Orlando, I was talking to him yesterday about this topic, and we were just having a discussion with him. And he told me that, John, what I've realized, I come to realize nowadays, we need to stop being savior. We had only one savior who came on earth, Jesus Christ, and he saved the people out of their sins. So we cannot be Jesus. If anyone wants to be saved, let them turn to Jesus and take the blood of Jesus. And because the thing is, what we are doing here abroad, people don't understand. Sometimes we don't sleep. Now, he took me to Europe and America kind of job, where you have to work like 4 jobs in a day. That's a total of 16 to 18 hours working in between 24 hours. And after working that way, you get some chunks of money and you push it back home. The people you're pushing this money to doesn't understand how you earn it. What they only understand is that you are rich. Yes, you are rich, but are you really rich? Because riches is not just chunks of money, but it's about your health. You're working 16 or 18 hours, sleeping 2 or 4 hours, waking up again to go get that money. So he was asking me, John, are we driving money or driving our lives? So if you earn it that way, if you earn it 16 hours or 18 hours working without rest, you've got to treat yourself, not treat other people. We can give our lives to other people who don't. Yes.
John, look at the NGO sector. I don't know when they started coming to Africa to give us handouts. It's been it was over. They did a 50-year. They did a 50-year anniversary. I can't remember which year. And they also realized something. They haven't achieved anything. They still haven't solved the food issue. They still haven't solved the whatever issue. Because you cannot save people from themselves. If you work on changing people's mindsets, now you are doing something. Because what we want to talk about before we end this show is this. Or in my opinion, anyway, because John and I never discuss these things. We just randomly start talking. But what I want to say is this. When you decide which way you will want your life to go, find a person, a partner in life who will help you to get there. Now, if this partner is your husband or your wife and they are not supportive of your craziness, that's okay. You can still find your tribe. There is always someone who does these things the same way, who is as crazy as you are. Believe me, I've found people who are as crazy as me, and I'm totally wacko. And they do things the way I love to do them.
Exactly.
And then those people will support you and your crazy ideas to get where you need to get. Because who speaks inside you, the creator who breathes in you, will be pushing you to go after something all the time. If you stop listening to your creator telling you what to do or what to follow or where to go, you will find your life becomes very, very unhappy. unsatisfactory. You could have everything money can buy. You will still feel unsatisfied with your life. That's just the way things are. If you read, like I read books a lot, if you look at all the rich families in the world, they finally decided now you cannot force your child to go and do the career that you did. Long ago, people used to say, if you are a doctor, your son is going to be a doctor, and your other son is going to be a doctor too, because this is a family of doctors or teachers or whatever.
You're a businessman, your son has to study business to take over from you.
Then people realize that no, God speaks to the person they created only. They don't tell the parents, the wife, or the best friend. So you are driven by whatever drives you, because you've got your own purpose in life. You've got your own path to walk. And if you listen to that path, if you just get quiet and listen to what am I supposed to do today, if there's anything you can take from this, ask yourself, what am I supposed to do with this gift of life I've been given? You will think of something.
Wow.
Do that.
Wow.
Yeah. And when you do it so well, do it with your whole heart so well that everybody will be like, oh my God, whether it's just cooking dinner for your family, do it with your whole heart, with all the love, and you'll find it will change lives of those people, and those people will change lives of other people. That's what we are here to do.
The conversation is getting closer to an end, Melody. I love how we are bringing this out and defining what independent woman is all about. We have talked about men as well, and covered a range of things here. And we are finishing up just now tackling the hardest part of it, and that is the practical part of being independent. And before we finish that, Melody, the best part of this is always to define independency. And I don't want to talk about it because I'm a man. I want it to come from a woman. And just try to read the comments that are here. Melody saying, not sorry. Nelson saying, finding your tribe is the best thing you can do for yourself. Felista says, loving this water, a great topic. There's Kenya Nyaloka watching, Munguya Pretinia watching, Rosaline Ogola, my cousin there from Kenya watching, Gladys Maina, Lucy Benson, Jenny, Aida, Olaka, so many people just few. Eunice then Michael said, hi Melody and Sir John, hi to you. Loving discussion. It's a great discussion, Melody. So I want to bring the last part of this with a question, Melody. How can we define and bring back the women that are lost with independency, thinking that being independent is not needing a man life? And how can we make men to understand that there should be no fear to handle a woman who is independent? Because, as men, we are growing that fear. Because of misunderstanding of independency, men are growing fear to even get in relationship with women who are working, a woman who is driving. Like, for example, I'm driving Suzuki. I have a Suzuki car. So I'm driving my Suzuki and I park it somewhere. And a woman comes with a Mercedes Benz and parks it, beside my car. And I look at that car and I'm like, how am I going to park this? Because I'm literally having a very small car and this woman looks so much independent. How are we going to understand as men that no, that woman needs you? There's one day a lady surprised me here in Bahrain. We were having a very deep conversation. And then she was like, John, the biggest problem with men nowadays, and especially in this place that we are today, men think that when I reach a certain class or stage, I don't need them. And that's the time that I need them so much to come to me. They are not coming. And the thing is, we as women, we have a right. We can face you. And Melody, in the next week discussion, I want us to discuss and help women how to make the first move. Because I think this is the right time to get to tell women that when it is itching, when you're feeling that, this is my guy, he is the one, let's make that move. There's no need to waste time waiting, because whereas you wait, maybe this guy will be saying that Melody is independent. If I'll try, I'm getting into a trap. She will be the man of the house instead of me. So I just wanted to explain to us how best can a woman be independent without, feeling like they don't need men or they have the head of the house, and how can men accept and take away the fear of dating and having a relationship with independent women. Two questions, very hard, but I know you have.
Wow, very hard questions. So, how can women be independent? They can be independent by. No, I want to start answering the men question. I want to answer the men question because it's the one that's been in my head. The men need to understand something. One of the biggest misconceptions or the biggest issues men and women have, the reason why you and I started talking, is men think women are weaker men. They believe we are men with boobs and we are weak. So we did the whole series of men's brain, female brain, whatever. So I'm going to cut the chase and say this. Women and men are very, very different. Our brains are wired differently. Everything is wired differently. But because men has got a lot of testosterone, you perform and behave in a certain way. Women have got very little testosterone. So we sometimes can fake to be masculine. You don't have estrogen, so you can never fake being a woman. It's not possible for you. We can fake being men, masculine, for a little while, but it is exhausting to us, and it is not. It causes us a lot of distress. Okay, so as a man, you need to understand, if you think at some point that a woman who's got a Mercedes-Benz car or has got money that is 10 times yours, it means she's going to treat you badly. It just means you have low self-esteem. You need a person like Melody or another coach to teach you how to raise your self-esteem so that money stops being a thing that stands between you and love. Because when women love, when we love men who make us feel safe, we humble ourselves. We really do. And we don't even care about the money. Most of us, those are who are saying. And if you are so concerned, bring her to me. I would train her. I'm training women, young women, single women right now, how to live in a world in partnership with men so that they feel independent, they feel supported, they feel safe, while men feel provider, keeping women safe, feeling the softness of that feminine elegance that they want, and everyone is doing the dance and enjoying each other's company. So if you feel concerned about this issue, the only thing I can do is get to be trained by someone who knows what they are talking about. How to get partnership between a female and a male. Because it is possible, it is doable, but you can't do it on your own. That's the one thing I can say. I can't remember your second question.
You've talked to men. Now you're supposed to talk to women to, explain to them being independent doesn't mean that you don't need a man in your life.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So being independent, like me, does not mean you don't need a man in your life. And when you have a man in your life, as an independent woman, you need to make a decision and a choice to allow him to provide for you. Because we know, I can change a bulb. But when there's a man here, I don't change bulbs. I can carry heavy bags, but when there's a man around me, I don't. I ask, will you please do this for me? And the only thing I do is, thank you so much. You're so lovely. I do this, like I go to the hardware shop I go to the hardware shop, and the little boys in the hardware shop love me so much, and they love me and Nelda, because when we see them, we say, "Oh, will you please take this? Do you want me to put it to the car? Yes. Oh, yes. Thank you so, ma'am. Do you want me to put it in the boot?" For others, it's like, sure. That doesn't not happen with me. They take it, they put it in the boot, and say, "Oh, you're so lovely. Thank you so much." Yeah. That's
Wow.
all what men need from us. They just need, "You are so lovely. Thank you so much.
They just need the
Yeah, you are so strong." Yeah.
It's so
I don't
good.
even give them a kiss because they are not my man. But if he was my man, I would give him a kiss as well and say, "Oh, you're so lovely. You're so strong. Thank you so much." Like, that's all men need from us. The acknowledgement. That's it. Acceptance.
The problem, Melody, is like the ladies today nowadays don't know that. They think that it's them only that needs their, "Oh, you're so lovely, so beautiful," but we need it even more than they do.
And if you are a woman, this is a tip. If you are a woman and you give yourself the permission, or you train yourself to say thank you to men, you will be so unique that men will come to you over and over and over and over again, because they don't get this from anyone else. If you are looking for a man to marry you, start using the phrase "thank you" constantly, continuously. Add some more things. Appreciate even if he brings you a cup of tea and say, "Oh, thank you so much." That goes to the heart. Am I lying, John? That goes to the heart straight.
That's exactly the key to a man's heart.
Yeah.
Because see, Melody, we talked about this even the other time, that women first and men second. A man goes to work and gets all the shit from the manager, from the groundsman, from everybody, from the clients, from everyone. So when
From
a man comes
traffic.
home, from the traffic, and then she comes home, and still you need a thank you from him. Come on, ladies.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the guy who needs that thank you, that needs that, "Oh, you look handsome today. When you are handsome and you came back, you're still handsome." This goes a long way into there. And then when you give them on top with some food, you are done. That man is going to love you forever and ever.
Oh,
Melody, this
Johnny
was a very
Rago
big
sent us
topic.
I
Those
think it
hugs
was a
and
hug and a
great.
smile. And Nelda says we need to give genuine thanks. Yes, let's not be fake. Here we do believe in reality, John and I. When you're saying thank you, you are saying genuinely thank you with your whole heart. And if you say it without your whole heart, a person is going to feel that it's not genuine, because everything is energy. Go ahead.
Even the fake smiles. There's a lot of fake smiles in so many places, especially here. I don't want to come home to the customer service smile at the reception, or or ice cream there. That smile, I won't buy it. I know a smile that comes from a loving heart, not a smile that is supposed to be there. The manager came, effed you up, scared you, screamed at you, and then a client comes and says, "Good afternoon, sir." But inside you're buzzing. I don't want to receive that at home. So people have to up their games. Melody, let's have that before we clear up this conversation tonight. It was a good one. We don't want to spoil it there.
Yeah, that's true. I don't have any last shot. I just want to say, ladies, be a soft spot for men. Gentlemen, up your self-esteem. You're good. You're great. Believe it. Believe how awesome you are, and everything will be fine. Thank you so much.
Wow. Beautiful. Thank you so much for coming, Melody. You've always been a pillar of conversation here, and you've really hyped this place with a lot of conversations. People learning so many things from you, and you are just awesome, beautiful, always great, just like you look. Say before this conversation, Melody was like, "Oh, my camera is not looking good," and then I'm like, "You guys look at Melody there. I want you guys to just give just send those comments, those hands, and some love. If I'm wrong, thumbs up. thumbs down, right? If I'm right, thumbs up. Melody was saying that she's not looking good in the camera. I want to tell them because before we started, we were
Oh
like,
God.
on the contrary, like, no, I'm not looking good, John. Look at me. And I told Melody, you are looking gorgeous, so great, so great. And that's what Melody has been looking every time. And when I met Melody, I met the smile that I always look for. You know, I've my trademark is a smile, Melody. I smile, and people know me. Some of the people get angry with me because sometimes you make me angry and I smile. Things are hard. People are struggling, even in the office. People are struggling much. How can we get this? I'm just smiling because what I've learned in life, however much you'll not smile, however much you will cry, however much you will be sad, if you have a solution, you. If you don't have a solution, you don't have it. So you have it, smile, and use it to get out of the trouble. You don't have it, smile, and tell God, next time I'll have a solution. But if you keep your smile inside, you are killing your lungs, you're killing your heart, you're killing your veins, you're killing your ribs, and everything is getting distorted. So thank you guys for staying with us. Eunice Dan Michael says, let me start saying thank you here. It was a great topic. Eunice, thank you so much for that. She's glowing. Melody, somebody says you are glowing. So you can take that from a lady like you. So
Thanks,
just to look at
Felicitas, and
comments.
everybody.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think we've exhausted even the comments, Melody. See you again after the 2 weeks. We'll be meeting here to discuss how these girls can approach men. It's gonna be.
I have to do
Okay.
research on this one. Thank you, John. Bye.
Take care of yourself, Melody. Let's meet again.
Okay,
Bye bye. Take care. Bye.
bye.